Hi. I'm still me, Sloan. So, I wanted to explain my personal take on family. And the reason I say that is because it has caused a lot of confusion in my past. People seem to think that because I'm family with one person, I'm family with their entire family, and I'm not. That's not exactly how it works for me. My biological family and I never really clicked growing up, and I ran away from home rather early on. When I ran away from home, I was taken in a couple of different times, but one of the times I was taken into this apartment uh, in the projects behind Columbus High School in the Bronx. And while I was there, it was inhabited by members of several different street gangs. And I was taken in by the whole group in its entirety. And so I was a little sister to this person and that person and that person. But I wasn't sister to this person's gang, that person's gang, and that person's gang. I was just sister to the people who lived in that space and to some of the people who came over to that space and interacted with us more often. Then, after living there, um, some weird things happened there. Uh, and my parents came close to finding where I lived, and so I had to leave, clearly, and I did. When I did, I ended up eventually, I guess a couple of months later, being taken in by an outlaw club. And while while they are normally the people that everyone seems to think I talk about when I'm talking about my family, I can understand why people think that way. It's because when I was adopted there, I was adopted in by a man who claimed me as his daughter. And I bonded extremely closely with him. He was my dad in a lot of the ways that really, really mattered. Not saying he was my only dad. My biological father was still kind of in the picture, although he was out of the country at the time where I got adopted. So there was a very close bond forged between me and the old man. That being said, while he was my dad, and some of his brothers were my brothers or uncles, depending on the kind of bond we had, I wouldn't necessarily say all of his brothers were my uncles. And I wouldn't go so far as to say that all of the wives there would be my aunts or sisters, because we didn't all individually form bonds like that. And so, since we didn't form bonds like that, I was only family to those with whom I did actually form bonds with. And I know that would seem confusing to most people in the life, because to them, this patch means you're related to that same patch, or to a sister club with those patches. And I understand that concept, but that's not how it works with me specifically. With me specifically, I am family to those who have been family to me, to those who have shown that kind of loyalty, that kind of respect, who have treated me with that kind of loyalty and respect. Because to them, I reflect that back at them. I give them the same loyalty and respect, and I give them my love, because they, to me, are family. Now, when I began to have my own children and living on my own, moving away from state to state the way that I did, I kind of picked up strays along the way. These people became family to me, but if were they to encounter my dad or any of my brothers and sisters from that previous life, they would not necessarily be related, but they are related to me. And they are related to me, and therefore they are my family. But if you were to come into my life and be a brother or a sister to me, you would not necessarily be related to my brother or sister from another part of my life. Now, I understand that that can get confusing, and it gets even more confusing because even though I know that I separate them and I know that their lives are separated from one another, it doesn't make me feel any less creeped out or gross when my cousin from this life and my brother from that life hook up, because to me it is incest, because they are family and they are family to me, and I feel that it is very gross. And I understand that's a me problem, I get it, but yeah, so there's that. um Now, okay, all of that family that grew around me, um I can say honestly there are a couple of hundred people whom I love, respect, and cherish, absolutely cherish in my life. I mean, they're family. They're like that aunt or uncle that you see at the funerals and weddings, and you run up to them and hug them, and they give you money, and you run off to buy candy or whatever. These are the people that I absolutely adore in my life, and they will always be part of my life for so long as we have that connection. So with my having this huge vast family, my children were raised with a lot of those people around. And while I know it gets confusing for everyone, including myself, there are times where I have to step back and remind people that, from each walk of life, that I'm not a gangster. I am not a biker. I am not a hipster. I'm not any of the things that my family members are specifically, but I am an outlaw. I was raised to be one. And the skill set that I have from that part of my life is so ingrained in me that it is a part of the person that I am. And there is no way of taking that out of me. I'm just always prepared. I'm always that. I am always an outlaw. That being said, I do not belong to any one club, because I do know that I am family with several people who are members of several different clubs. And so I don't put on patches for one club or another, but my loyalty is with the people that I love. And so that has never changed, and it never will. I worry about putting on a set of patches, because my constant worry would be, would I have to then be subservient to this one set and never be allowed to stick my neck out for this set or that family member who has nothing to do with this? Would I have to then put only this set forward? Should I only be loyal to this one set? And that's an upsetting thought to me, because I would hate to think that I wouldn't be able to be there for other people that I absolutely love and adore. And so I've never made that choice. I've always made the choice to remain independent. So as far as, am I a punk, am I a rocker, am I a gangster, am I a biker? No, I'm none of those things. What I am is an independent outlaw who happens to have family in random places in the world. And I'm extremely loyal to them all. As loyal as I can be. And I would like to think that by my choices, I can remain loyal to all of them in ways that I see fit. That's not saying that I wouldn't be there for this one or that one. That's just saying I will try my best to be the best sister to them as I can be. That wouldn't change whether I wore their patches or not. I love them. And it's that simple. It's that black and white to me. So long as I love them, I will be there as much as I can. That being said, emotionally, I have lost a lot of people in the last 6, 7 years now. and my family has taken a dip in numbers, a rather large dip. And I'm finding it hard to make my peace with that. I shouldn't have to, but it's because I love so many. It's because I'm family to so many that it hurts as much as it does. And I know that because there are so many people that I do love, there's going to be so many funerals eventually that I'm going to have to attend. And my being the youngest from most of those crowds, it's highly likely that I will attend all of their funerals before I end up in the same predicament. I'm not quite sure I feel okay with that, but I am trying to make my peace with that. And it's funny because all of them always thought when I disappeared on them, because I would disappear on everyone for years at a time and then show up a decade later and be like, hi, I'm still me. And they're all like, oh my God, we miss you, we love you, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like I never left. So, yeah, I don't know. Life is weird that way. But that is how my family works. So if you became a friend, and then more than a friend to me, where we become family-like, but you're not close enough to be a brother or a sister to me, I consider you a cousin because it's once removed. And then after a while, you go from cousin to being bro, you know. We see each other as bro and sis, you know. And that's how the bond becomes stronger. And that's around when you start meeting my kids, and my kids see you as uncle so-and-so or auntie so-and-so. Or now that they're older, they'll see you as bro and sis themselves. Who knows? But that's my take on family. And so anyone who has had any confusion before now, I hope that that kind of explains that. Because I don't think I really explained it very well in my book. I know that I did explain that I have a massive family, but I don't think anyone knew to what extent. And maybe now this gives more of a clearer picture as to what my family looks like. Yeah. So there's that. All right. I guess I'll be talking to you later.